Welcome to Spaghetti on the Wall, where we throw ideas, see what sticks, and nurture those that do. I'm your host, Armando Leduc, an actor, entrepreneur, and coach, giving you insights that light up your world. We're here to explore the realms of business, marketing, and life, serving up a shot of inspiration with every episode. Ready to make ideas stick and grow them into something great? Let's dive in.
On this episode of Spaghetti on the Wall, we have a guest who isn't just another dude talking AI and masterminds. He's built dozens of them. Brad Hart is the founder of Optimus and Repurposefully, a best-selling author and a guy who's helped 8- and 9-figure entrepreneurs scale without burning out. He's run masterminds with hundreds of members and advised some of the biggest names in the game and built content systems that sound like you without sounding like a bot. If you've ever wondered why most AI setups flop and what the hell to do about it, stay locked in because we're about to break it all down. What's happening?
Hey, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for having me, Dean.
Absolutely. My pleasure. While we got to enjoy hearing each other's weird voices beforehand, there's like some really cool stuff you were doing, dude. Like I've checked out Repurposefully when it actually came out. Obviously, great to meet you.
You too.
But let's go down the AI pathway first, and you can kind of give me why do I feel like most entrepreneurs are using like AI as kind of a duct tape versus like the fuel that it could be?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I see people all the time that are at all levels of understanding of what AI is. And I think you just need to back up and really define the term. So artificial intelligence broadly can mean a lot of things. It can mean anything from ChatGPT and Gemini and other LLMs, which is what most people think of as AI, all the way to machine learning. Like it learns how to play chess, it learns how to play Go, it learns how to fold proteins and wins a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah.
All the way up to drones and, Terminator robots. And do you remember that time when the drones didn't have machine guns on them? That was a good time.
It was good. It was good.
Yeah, it was great back then. Then now, essentially we have to rethink everything in society around this idea of what is AI going to mean as digitally everything gets automated and physically everything gets robotified, if you will. Right. So I think most people are just scratching their little tiny fingernail on the surface of what this stuff is capable of. They pick up ChatGPT, they type, they put in a couple of halfway thought out prompts and they get an okay response and they're getting better and better out of the box. But the reality is like prompt engineering could be a whole subset.
Yeah.
And then prompts are kind of like training wheels that get you moving. But if you really want to keep up with the cool kids and skid out and like do wheelies and jumps and stuff, it's time to take off the training wheels and just have a conversation with it. And it's almost like you're training a 5-year-old toddler that will become God one day.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And, and I love it because I solve so many ridiculous problems with it. And it takes so much bandwidth off my plate, stuff that used to have to go down a Google rabbit hole with for hours. I saved a $30,000 deal yesterday because I was able to plot an exponential graph in real time. So like just random stuff. Like a lady was tying her dog to the front of her house and my dog is dog reactive. So instead of getting upset and starting a problem with my neighbor, I decided to write a letter to her. And I'm not going to write a letter. Who does that? Right. But I can talk to GPT. Yes, you can talk to it. I highly recommend you do. I said, hey, this is what's going on. We talked back and forth for a few seconds, came up with this letter. I'm like, oh, what if this person does speak English? I live in Phoenix. That's entirely possible. Let's put it in Spanish too. So I had a 2-sided letter. I put it in a nice envelope. I had my wife write on it so it didn't look like a serial killer, put it in the mailbox and I stuck it in their mailbox and no more dog. It's like you solve crazy problems. I have easily generated hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue easily just as a function of using AI by itself. I've been able to do amazing things in less time and I've saved easily that amount of money as well. Like every time I do something and I save 15, 20, 25 grand, I'm like, this is wild. I want to pay you more money. Like I just bought ChatGPT Pro, not because I know what I'm going to do with it, but just because I want to give them more money.
Support, pure support.
It just works. Yeah. And it's like, it becomes your therapist, your friend, your business mentor, your guide at 12 in the morning when Google, some ass clown in Mountain View, excuse my language, pushes some software update. Now I'm boiling at midnight because they changed all the eco settings on my freaking thermostats. It's like, I can figure that out.
Oh man.
While I'm still in a bleary mess at midnight so I can go back to sleep. Like stuff like that. That's really
cool. So just to clarify, you didn't have AI deliver the letter.
No, I actually physically walked it over to their mailbox, but I had to write it. I printed it out, sent it over. And by the way, most people don't receive letters in the mail again. I think with AI and robotics, we're eventually going to have enough time to do the stuff we used to do, like send letters and Pony Express will make a comeback and we'll have carrier pigeons again, and like that'll be the cool thing, you know.
What do you think like the minimum? So like, say a law firm is trying to understand what they can do with AI. Because most people, if you're
Yeah,
not okay with AI, you're just like, I don't want to touch it. I don't even want it a part of my business.
cool.
Clearly missing the boat, and it's you're gonna
Yeah,
be
and I
behind
don't
the
want
boat.
to judge that at all, because I was like, oh, it's not there yet, and I wasn't really going
Sure.
from like I don't really subscribe to the whole AI is going to kill everybody thing.
Yeah.
Although it's a non-zero probability, I can't rule it out. I'm just saying that the more we are afraid of it and the less we guide it, the more likely that outcome is to happen. So if you are proud of your values and you like the impact that you make in the world and you think you're a great human, well, then you should be training AI, because we're all training AI, right?
Yeah. I kind of look at it like that, as like,
The engineers.
if we're doing the training, we are creating in our image kind of idea,
Yep.
then we're probably going to have a mixture of both. We're going to have the negative AI and the positive AI. It's just how we're going.
And law firms, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal
Sure.
advice. I don't play doctor or lawyer, baker, Quaker, candlestick maker on the internet. But I routinely will have conversations with clients that turn into contracts and addendums to contracts and new clauses. And I can very easily basically take a transcription. It immediately goes into my Vimeo. I get a VTT file. I convert that into a TXT file, which is pretty straightforward to work with. Pop that in the GPT, say, hey, here's what I remember from the conversation. Can you grab all the very specific words and points and what we're going to do, and put that into a couple clauses, and bing, bang, boom. I just save 2 hours of legal admin. It's like, it's really effective and helpful for that stuff. You just have to make sure, this is really important, practical tactical tips, that you're not using a model, and this will become less of an issue over time, that has a limited context window. So there's like a certain amount of characters it can process in a single go. And some of these legal contracts or books and things like that can get very long. And some of these models, like Gemini, is a million token context window. You're not going to overwhelm that, but some of the smaller models you will, and it'll just cheat, right? It'll kind of skim like a bad intern or bad paralegal and get the wrong answer, and that can be really problematic. So when you're using them, just be aware of that. If you're getting something weird or you're frustrated because you're not getting the right answer, check the context window. I'd stymied more people than I'd like to say.
It's almost like you were probably, if we're sticking to like a Chat GPT, preferably Pro kind of deal, Grok and or Gemini, you're probably safe with those three.
You're probably safe, and it depends what you're using it for, what the API level is. Like most of people's challenges with AI come, especially on the LLM level, they try to do too much in one go.
Yeah.
It's like, write me the whole works of Shakespeare in one prompt. That doesn't work. I'm sorry. You got to really chunk it down. And I tell my clients, like, I had just an example. I wrote a book. I've written 4 now. This book we use to get clients. It is called 8-Minute Mastermind. We sell 12,000 copies in the last 4 years. Made about 2.5 million on the back end, 2.2 million, something like that.
Yeah.
And counting. And then I wrote a really nice book funnel, and it was 7 pages and 8,000 words, and just a lot of testing, iteration, probably 50 man hours of work and tens of thousands of dollars. And just all that was manual work back in 2020. Right.
Yeah.
This book is a much better book that I've written 5 years out with more info. And I actually wrote it and then, did it the old fashioned way. But the funnel, I actually sat down and said, okay, let me AIify this sucker. And I was able to take that same exact format. I had the 80% figured out funnel. I updated it for new book, new copy, new offer, new bonuses, new upsells, new all that stuff. But I was able to get the copy done, get this, in 4 hours by myself. That's 8,000 words of really premium, high quality copy that converted pretty well right out of the gate. I'll still make tweaks and updates, but like that's 90% of the workout, right? So it's like, if you have great stuff and you have discernment and experience and you know what great is, you can get there 10 times faster. Yeah. But that doesn't mean you're not going to get to some place you don't want to be 10 times faster if you don't have those things.
Yeah. I find that comes to like people that are using it for the therapy side, and they're like, well, what do you think about blah, blah, blah? And it just supports them and go, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Gosh. Echo chamber times, infinity, plus it gaslights you into thinking you're a great person.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not.
Because it doesn't care, right? It doesn't have any sense of, three-dimensional reality or any of that.
So you got me with a little video here to play. Give me a rundown of what we're about to show everybody here.
Yeah. So let's play the video, and I don't want to create any perspective shift, but let's just play like 10 seconds of it.
All right. You tell me when.
Go ahead.
Framework, offers, sales, leads, and operations is a step-by-step guide for prioritizing what to work on in your business, ensuring maximum efficiency and growth. Okay. The framework emphasizes the
So I sent this video to my mom. She's 67 years old. She lives in Florida. She's a wonderful lady. I'm her only son. I said, hey, Mom, is this me? She said, yeah, of course it is, sweetie. I said, Mom, we need to talk. This is 100% AI. So,
okay, I'm going to play it again. We're going to go back now, knowing, right? Give everybody a chance here. Rewatch this, everybody.
The Oslo framework, offers, sales, leads, and operations, is a step-by-step guide for prioritizing what to work on in your business, ensuring maximum efficiency and growth.
Now, if you're savvy, you can really pick out a few things, right? Because you're watching me in real time. You're seeing me on the background. You're seeing the camera, like all that setup is the same.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually me, and AI is basically puppeting my image, right? And it's a RAG database. You don't have to know what that is. That's feeding all my content, taking all my posts and everything I've ever published, creating a custom script to a custom 4K avatar with a custom voice clone. And I can create 35 pieces of high quality content like this in 20 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'll show you a quick image, if you don't mind me sharing screen, of what that actually looks like on the back end. So this is like AI, on crack steroids, like this is wild. Can you see the image?
Hold on, let me pull this down here. All right, reshare me.
So you should be able to see a bunch of bubbles on the screen.
There we go.
You can see it?
Okay, now we're up. Yep.
Okay, great. So what are you looking at? So this is essentially a content factory, right? This is a content creation factory that takes what I just described and spits out content on every single platform in every single format. That's text, short form, long form, audio, video at the quality I just showed you. That's actually from February. It's even way better now. And within a year, it'll be indiscernible from reality.
Yeah.
You just will not be able to tell whether you're good at it or not. It's just not.
And that's a minute 23. Is that full piece a minute 23, or these like clips you?
Yeah, so they can do shorter, longer. We can set it however we want. We can do long form, short form, like I said, YouTube, Instagram. So for example, we took a lady who was really popular on TikTok. She was trying to get on Instagram and YouTube. We were able to repurpose a lot of her content through this engine, and we increased her view count and traffic on her pages by 17,500% in 60 days. That's 17.5x in 60 days. It's just wild. And it's not that we're doing anything so crazy. It's just we can create a lot of content. We can post it consistently. And, that actually helps the algorithm a lot. But more importantly, and here's the shift, we're not just putting content out that draws in qualified interested prospects, which we do. We're also training AI to see you as an authority. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to share just one more slide here to kind of give an example of what that looks like.
Is it on the same screen you got
here? I just got to find it 1 second. Oh yeah, that's why it's on this other slide deck. Bear with me 1 second. I think it's pretty cool. So, here we go. All right. If we go over to this slide, share this tab instead. Let me know when you can see it.
All good.
Before and after.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you look at this, this is on the left, a Google search of my name, Brad Hart, which is a very popular name, right? I've got judges and wrestlers and a machining company in the Midwest, like a ton of people that own that domain and want to be top ranked for that. On the right, you'll see the same search in AI. So whereas I'm kind of a couple different things on the left, on the right, I'm the top thing. And it's got Optimus, it's got OmniSocial, which we renamed Repurposefully to OmniSocial, AI-powered content agency, Heartwood Capital, which is a hedge fund I ran, author, mastermind, it's got all my books, it's got my socials, like everything is about me, and I'm the top result. And I was able to achieve this in a couple months, right? Whereas for years, I was trying to be at the top of Brad Hart as just traditional SEO. It was a total hassle, total waste of time. And with this, I was able to do it really quickly. So it's like being 2 years before the next wave, right? So imagine you were 2 years ahead of Facebook ads, or 2 years ahead of pay-per-click, or 2 years ahead of search, or 2 years ahead of whatever, right? It's like, that's the new game. Is LLMs like Gemini, ChatGPT, and Claude are going to build relationships with their users where they get to the point where they trust them. And it's so far ahead of the curve that, it's their race to lose. And they're going to make recommendations. So if you're saying, hey, I need this type of product or service, if you're the top one, they're absolutely going to pay attention to that, click through that, and look at that at the very least, and probably buy it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm buying stuff that my ChatGPT recommends all the time because it knows me really well. It knows my values. It knows the projects I'm working on. And I'm not always happy with the recommendations, but it'll only get better and better and better. Sure. And if you could be the person or thing or product that it's recommending, I think that's wide open. And I think it's going to be way more effective than search ever was.
So this was via creating, tons of content based on you is what boosted you up on Google.
Yeah, it's partially that. And it's partially the way we design the schemas. We have a proprietary method for doing that, which is essentially the header code that we put in websites that tells AI why and how to recommend you.
To use this info. Yeah. Wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, like, if someone's just wanting to get into this kind of idea, what is their first step to any of that?
Yeah. So there's basically 7 things we do for a business to get them what we call AI ready.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show kind of what they look like so you can get a sense. So if I move over here again, if I go back to share, where was it? It was here, share screen. There we go. Got it. Share. So we do a couple things. So we got brand guide. So I like to think of it as like I showed you this was the bow, right? Which shoots the arrow into the target.
Okay.
Is a way to think about it. The bow is the machine that creates the content. The arrow is the brand guide that captures your voice, your values, your vision, your mission, all this crazy stuff, right? So it's like I can go through this and get your mission, your personality, your vision, your beliefs, your brand statements, your mantras.
It got unshared.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
I just keep slipping around here. Zoom is so easy to just click back and forth.
Is this your AI? Are you here with me right now?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Pretty soon, you never know.
I know.
Authentic voice blueprint, basically this stuff that everybody hates about LLMs, like, oh, don't do M dashes and in a world where and stuff like that. Like we got rid of all that crap because we basically, every one of these little bubbles refers to the last bubble and iterates on it. And it does it in small chunks. So it doesn't just go off and does crazy things because the context window is too small, right?
Yeah.
So we're able to really do that. And then finally, the target is the ideal customer persona. These are the people that want to ultimately buy from you. And it's everything about them. So it's their demographic, market analysis, core problem, agitation, primary transformation, layers. Like this is the kind of stuff. In addition to this, we have an operational intelligence file. Those 3 documents is like 25 grand worth of work at an agency, right?
Wow.
We're building that for a brand so that we can train AI. It's like 200 pages worth of content. And then each one of these documents now can be uploaded to a team member's GPT for the brand. So they can write like the founder on a caffeine tear, even though they're not, or they can be plugged into the front end of our system and then leverage for scale. So that's like the 3 things on the front end. And then we also take the founder or whoever the spokesperson is for the brand and we AIify them, right? So we do the 4K avatar, like you saw, the voice clone, and all that. And then finally the content engine starts posting, and then we do all the websites and product web pages, get the schema rewritten so that AI can refer you. So it's kind of like a 3-part process, right? We're creating the assets, creating the content, creating the avatars, and then ultimately the schemas.
So because, and obviously you've noticed like YouTube and some of them are like not monetizing AI stuff now and things like that. 1, does this pass that, or 2, are you guys kind of creating a different social channel and now they still have their regular social channel, but we also created a new version?
Yeah, I think it's a joke that they think that they're going to slow down or stop AI content.
Yeah.
There's already way more
monetizing basically or something.
Yeah, there's already way more AI content on the internet than there is human content.
It's nonstop. Yeah.
It's nonstop. And I don't think that's going to slow down. And I think everybody's going to be utilizing these tools because listen, I talk to a lot of business owners, thousands, right? And if you put 100 business owners in the room, have them raise their hand, most of them are going to say leads are a challenge. And most of them are going to say that if they wish they could post on social media more, have more of a social media presence. And most of them are going to say they're on 1 to 2 platforms posting 10 to 15 times a month. But what happens when you can be on every platform every day without any more work and post 300 times everywhere you want to be? Like, why wouldn't you do that? Right. So that's essentially, we're just trying to skate to where the puck is going and create that result.
Cool. Okay. So next week, where are we next week?
Yeah. It's hard to say, right? It's like, it's moving pretty fast. So that's kind of one subset of a problem.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just OmniSocial. You can check out at omnisocial.com/watch. I got a whole presentation. You can take a look, but I think that's one piece. And I think that's like the big gaping bleeding neck problem is everybody thinks they need more leads, right? And it's true. They need more qualified, interested people to buy their products and services, and they need to be consistent. And that's all true. And there's really only 3 ways to generate leads. You can do friend stuff, which is JV affiliate referrals, not a lot of risk, but not a lot of control. You can do content, like which is trend, right? So making content people want to, friend and trend, they want to consume it. That takes time, a little more control, but you have to be consistent. It's a little up and down. We help with that, obviously.
And staying up with news and all the trends going. Yeah.
But the goal is to take those first 2, take some of the money, put it aside, keep it in the business, and use those to scale with ads, right? The people who really crush it in the legal industry or any industry are buying billboards and spending money on Meta and Google and YouTube. So it's getting traction with those 2 first channels so that you can spend to really scale the business, because you really have a business when $1 goes in and like $3, $4, $5 comes out.
Sure.
That's when you know you have something. And then while that's the case, spend as fast as you can. As long as that remains true, scale as quick as you can, right?
Yeah, because no telling when that's going to change.
No telling when that's going to change. And it's not going to flip overnight, right? I've had people, they scale an offer and it works, and there's like pent up demand. They're getting $9 for every dollar they spend. This truly happened to one of my clients, Chris, and he was making $9 for every dollar he spent. He got 600 clients. He could have got 6,000 if he really went for it. I mean, there's just, going so fast, and you might get 5 opportunities like that in your entire career.
Yeah.
So when that happens, you got to be ready to go. So it's a confluence of a great offer that you're great at selling, and you can generate the leads consistently and profitably. And then you have the operations to scale with quality. So it's OSLO. It's what we talk about, which is what I talk about in that video. It's how we solve these problems in order. And that's my playbook. I play it over and over and over again. Now we're just taking the playbook to scale with AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
The reason I love AI, you used to do all these beautiful workflows and design them, and any business owner is going to laugh. Like, you hand it to a team and then it falls apart, right? Human beings doing human things. And now it becomes a management leadership problem. It's really hard to scale, even if the process works. So you're trying to juggle and spin that plate. And then all of a sudden the people are the problem. And now you're trying to scale, and maybe you can manage it, and some people make it and some people don't. And I got friends making 9 figures, like billions of dollars. So it goes all the way up. But now if you could do it with AI, it takes a little bit more work on the front end to dial it in, but all things being equal, it's going to stay working, and you can scale it times 1,000, times 1,000,000. It just takes
once it's locked, it's locked.
Work. Yeah. Once it's locked in, assuming nothing else changes. That's why I like software, because you can get it right once and theoretically scale up.
Yeah. Until the platform changes or whatever else changes on you. Okay. So while I could literally we could talk on AI for another half hour and plus, let's jump into masterminds real fast.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the power in that? How did you stumble into that thing?
Historically, I was 2011 or so. I think I was about 26 years old. I was kind of trying to find my way. My dad had passed away not that long before. Yeah, I want to say like 25, 26. And I was in Africa with the author, Tim Ferriss. We did 10 days in Africa with this NGO, and did some charity work out there, toured the whole country. Got to play golf with like the president and general of that. And they were yelling at us in Swahili because we sucked at golf. And at one point during the trip, at one point during the trip, it was a crazy trip. I got malaria, almost got trampled by donkeys. It's just a bunch of crazy stories. But the main thrust of the story, which I talk about in my book, is he sits me down. He's like, "Hey man, what do you want to do with your life?" And I just lost my dad, and he could tell aspiring a little bit. He's like, "Hey man, you want to go to North Korea?" I'm like, "North Korea? What the fuck is North Korea?" He's like, "Yeah, it'd be cool." I'm like, "What's going on there?" He's like, "Oh, my friend's running a mastermind group." I'm like, "Who's your friend?" He's like, "I can't tell you. He's a really private person, but he's kind of famous and da da da." And I'm like, "Are you going to North Korea?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, "I don't know if I want to go to North Korea, Tim. Sorry."
alone
with these weirdos that I haven't met, and I get back to New York, and I get over malaria, and I'm sitting in a cafe near Mercer Street where I used to work. I was in real estate and trading at the time. And I get this email from Neil Strauss, the author, who has written 25 best-selling books, and like, Kevin Hart's book, Rick Rubin's book, go take a look. They're all Neil Strauss. Anyway, so I get this email from Neil. We just got back from North Korea. I'm like, what are the odds, right? So I call up Neil and his crew, and I'm like, "Hey, what's the deal with this mastermind? I'd never heard of something like that." And like, it's great. It's like, guys that are successful, but they're looking for something to round out their life, right? So they're successful in business, but they want to work on their family, or they do well with their family, but they need to focus on their health or whatever, right? So now I'm all of a sudden this 20-something-year-old kid. I joined this mastermind, and I'm surrounded by people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s who had been through a lot of life, and I'd seen, success and failures. And, there's a great saying that I followed my entire life, which was, if a fool repeats their mistakes, a wise person learns from them, and a genius learns from the mistakes of others. So I really took that to heart, and I tried to learn both from their successes and from their failures. So fast forward, I was in that for 3 years. 2016, I started getting involved more in personal development, Tony Robbins. I had an arc where I had a hedge fund. I made $1,040,000 in a month. It kind of broke my brain because I came up with not a lot of money, and I was looking for fulfillment and purpose. I realized, I really enjoyed being a part of a mastermind. What if I started one? So I partnered up with somebody, and we started a mastermind, and it kind of went okay. And I made every mistake that you make. I didn't charge enough, and had to run it, and facilitation, and just all the things. And I started to get better and better at it. We did one in China and Hong Kong, about 52 people. I started another one that was more marketing focused. I started growing brands. We had an e-commerce agency that did pretty well on Amazon for a while, ran that to 7 figures, sold my share in it, didn't love the agency style of working. So I just tried a lot of business models and I kept coming back to masterminds. I'm like, this is the way, right? So I write the book, like I said earlier, it did really well, self-published, and, you know, people started gravitating towards me. So I'm like, all right, we need a program. So we built the program. I might be going out of order slightly. But this is all that would happen and transpired. So did a bunch of events with my mentor, Jay Facette, Mastermind of Millions, learned a lot from him. So that was kind of the arc on that side. And this new book, which is really cool, is kind of the culmination of all that. So now I've been a part of over 100 masterminds. I'm routinely invited to speak at masterminds and mentor masterminds. And, you know, I get phone calls from people, hey, come fix my mastermind. It's broken. I'm like, couldn't you have called me sooner before it got broken?
No, it's never a problem until it's broken.
Yeah, it's never a problem until they're burning down. They have mastermind mutiny on their hands. And it seems on the face of it like it'd be an easy thing to do. Like you go to a mastermind, you pay 25 grand. It's like, you know, you look around, you do the math, you're like, I could do this, you know, and you're like, then you do it and it sucks and you wonder why. And I think it sucks for one of 3 reasons. People come to masterminds for 3 reasons. They come to masterminds to get results. They come to masterminds to build relationships, and they come to masterminds for recreation. So the 3 R's. And if those 3 things are true and, you know, at or above the level of everything else, they're gonna have a great time. They're going to show up and keep coming. You'll get that recurring revenue that you want. Right. And if one of those things isn't true and that's what they wanted, they're gone. Right. Because we've all been part of the group where we come into the group and these people are successful and they're getting results, but they're like autistically competitive and they don't know how to share. And, you know, you kind of want to take a shower after. And then we've all been in the group where it's like, I kind of like these people. We're not getting anything done. If I have to have another conversation about a cold plunge, I'm going to jump out that fucking window over there. You know? And we've been in that group too. So I'm just kind of over the whole, you know, mastermind for the mastermind sake shtick. Right. So I do my best to continue to iterate and improve in every single place. So with Optimus, for example, I'm scratching my own itch. Everybody's saying, oh, I'm going to go build an AI army and make $1 billion in my basement. I'm like, that sounds lonely, boring, and shitty. I want to do it with all my friends, make sure they win too, and just enjoy the journey of life. Like I'm not doing it for money anymore. Although I've been, you know, very privileged and blessed to make a lot of money. That's not the point. The point is I want to leverage that into, you know, I think the new flex is impact. The new flex is how can you heal the world and shift the consciousness from scarcity economics to abundance economics. And what does that look like? And how do we navigate that? Because there's going to be a messy middle and the world needs leaders now more than ever. So now the latest iteration, why do I do masterminds? Here's the old way. The old way is you have the $1 billion SaaS product idea. You come up with it. Oh my God, amazing. You do the slide deck. You go to the investors. You go on tour. You raise the money. Find the team. You build the thing. You screw it up a bunch of times. Maybe you get there. Maybe you don't. Maybe you get traction. Maybe you don't. Maybe you get revenue. Maybe you don't. 2 years goes by and maybe you don't have a company that actually can work and function. Right? And things are moving too fast. Like you said, what's happening this week in AI? So I decided, well, what am I really good at? I'm good at masterminds. And what can I do to lower my risk and get to the answers faster? Well, there's tons of small businesses that I can serve, and we could build tools for them that help them compete at the level of Fortune 500s with way less headcount, way less burnout. And they can pay me to be in a mastermind where we basically go in their business and tinker and build cool shit that also could work in other people's businesses. So now I've lowered my risk. I get paid to tinker. I'm like Evel Knievel. I get paid whether the plane gets landed or not. I build something really cool that scales and I can plug it into a bunch of other businesses. It becomes part of the Optimus operating system that we now can deploy in other people's businesses, which will become, you know, the thing that I think changes the industry and makes it really easy to have your own personal Jarvis that helps you launch and manage your businesses. All while I'm not taking a ton of risk.
What are you doing tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. So we built, we've identified 31 tools for SMBs across those 4 categories. That's offers, sales, leads, operations. We've developed 17 in 6 months. We just have like these coding marathon sessions where we build stuff.
God.
And we just deployed one in a business. This is really fun. I spoke at 4 rooms. Amber was a client in Optimus. She had me come speak. And the guy came up to me afterwards. He's like this 28-year-old guy. They're making $1 million a month teaching people how to trade sports cards in their spare time. And their target market is pretty cool. It's like dudes who have access to a computer who kind of like sports, right?
Yeah.
And he had this Instagram account, which is, you know, he does a lot of content. He's just getting a ton of DMs, but he's not answering them. I'm like, dude, let's just plug this leak. You get extra sales. And their sales process works, right? So like, let's just plug this leaky bucket. We built a bot in 2 hours during this VIP day, flew out to their office. By the end of the day, I had booked 4 more calls. By the end of the weekend, I booked 12 calls. And he's like, full on make money mode. He's like,
What
dude,
do I
this is
do
going to
with
add
all
an
of
extra $10,000 to $20,000 a week to my business. That's $500,000 to $1 million a year for 2 hours work. That's why I love AI.
That's amazing.
Now I can go and do that in Instagram, Facebook. We just cracked LinkedIn. We're working on YouTube next. Like, why not? Right? Why not give people a better experience to interact with your thing? Like most people can't afford a customer service process like Amex, but we can create something very similar for nothing almost.
Oh man, Brad, I could sit and chat with you. I could sit and chat with you all day. I've got one last question for you outside of where can they find you to get started, which you can answer that first.
Oh, so we're at buildwithoptimus.com. If you're interested in increasing your business, scaling your business without more headcount and burnout using AI and automations, we'll happily navigate you through that. And then if you are looking to build a mastermind group, you can go to milliondollarmasterminds.com is a good place to start. You can read my book. It's called milliondollarmasterminds.com and check that out. And that'll guide you to where you need to go next.
Great. My last question before I let you go. What you drinking, man?
Say again?
I want some. Whatever you drink.
Oh, it's just iced tea. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Just iced tea. I stopped drinking alcohol in 2013.
Send me a glass.
Yeah, baby.
Brad, so much fun talking to you, man.
It's a pleasure, Dean.
We'll definitely have to do this again.
All my love to Armando and the team. Thank you very much. And I'm grateful for everything you guys do. Have a great day. And if you've gotten value out of this, I'll see you on the other side. Come check me out.
Oh, yeah. Everybody,
take care now. Bye-bye.
on the next one. Goodbye.